Hey there. Before starting off this video, I would like to, wish you all a happy Diwali and a prosperous life ahead. Right? It's Diwali in India over here. Everybody is bursting crackers outside, and maybe you're gonna hear some of it during this video. Right? I'll right. So the topic of this video is how to get from entrepreneur to entrepreneur. And so I would be providing you what are the three tips that is useful, to overcome this, right? So yeah, so first of all, the thing is most people don't have any goals in their life, right? So the tip number one is you need to have goals, right? So let's say I am, starting out a YouTube channel, right? And now I want to grow it big, so I need to have goals like I will reach 10,000 subscribers by this day, or maybe maybe I'll make these many videos by this date, right? Or I'll attract more customers for my business, right? It's like that. So you need to have some financial goals, right? Or even goal for that matter, because most people live their life as it is, right? Just going to job and do the 9 to 5 and then come back home and watch some television, is something is on the television, and most people have some firecrackers, right? Oh, that's way too much. Alrighty. Right. Right. Now it stopped. Okay. So now, as I was saying, that you need to have some goals, right? And yeah, most people, when they go to 9 to 5 and then when they come back, right, they watch television, right, and all those TV series, right, and they have specific goals. Oh, I'll watch season 1 of this series by this date, right? I'll binge watch everything. And yeah, so they definitely do have goals, but that is a wrong kind of goals, right? And yes, at some point or the other you must have thought of this, right? If you're watching a TV series, or maybe if you're playing games, right? And I have done all of that, right? So yeah, this happens. But this matter of the fact is, if you want to get rich, you need to have some financial goals, and that is really very important, right? So yeah, so you need to have a plan, right? It's if you fail to plan, right, you plan to fail. I repeat that. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Does that make sense? It definitely does, because if you don't have a plan, or you just come back from office and do anything you want, right? You don't have a schedule, you don't get stuff done. Maybe you want to do something, right? Maybe you want to clean your room, or maybe you want to shift some things around, right? Or maybe you want to decorate your room or something like that, with wallpaper or something, but you didn't get the time to do that, because after you came back from office you just did whatever came to your mind, right? And left it for your mood to decide what will happen. And that is a big problem, right? So that would be really bad. Tip number two, right? Tip number two is that you need to be committed over over a business plan, or to your plan, right? So yeah, commitment is a very big important, very important stuff, right? If you're not committed in your job, then you will make mistake, right? Likewise, if you're not committed in your business, and if you want to do it as a hobby level, it generally doesn't work out, right? You can initially start with hobby level, doing business, like maybe you are an affiliate marketer, right? And you just started, oh, you knew learned some stuff, and want to um, go from there, right? So yeah, initially people may start with hobby level, but they need to have some commitment towards their business, because if they don't have commitment, they'll go out with friends, they'll do whatever, partying, and all sorts of stuff, right? And just forget about their business. And what happens when you forget about your business? What happens when you know, have backlogs in your work, right? You'll get stuck up real bad, and you may even quit. And quitting is really, you know, the end of everything, right? If you quit your business at any point, right, it doesn't make sense. You lost everything. You just weren't committed enough. You just learned a few stuff. You implemented a bit, and were not focused to, you know, you can say that you were not desperate enough that you to become rich, right? If your mind is set, right, I want to become rich, and I know this plan, I know this business plan will make me rich, and I am comfortable with it, right? Then be committed to that, right? Or otherwise it will be a real waste of time for you, right? I'm seriously saying that, because what good is that knowledge if you are not going to implement it at all, right? You need to implement, you need to have the knowledge, you need to implement and be committed over a long period of time. Now you don't want to switch, business, like, you know, want to pivot to something, right? Pivoting is a really bad choice, actually. You know, if you really want, and if it's a really dead end business, you know, you're thinking about, or the plan was wrong, then it's okay. But if you're thinking that you're not getting results from this, doing this business plan, right, and let's say you want to do something else, then that's shiny object syndrome, right? You're thinking that this business opportunity, oh, it's taking so long. Oh, that business opportunity must definitely be, you know, faster way to success. But the matter of fact is, if you're not committed to any of that, you'll be just running around and trying to grab those shiny objects. But in the end, you'll never get a thing, right? You'll never get rich like that, right? And tip number three is that you tip number three is that you need to learn from failures of other businesses, right? So it is very important that you know, go through and study how they failed, right? It is as much important as how the that business owner made his business successful, right? You learn that stuff, but you ignore the failures, right? And that is a problem, because learning from failures is a good thing, because success is not a good teacher, failure is, right? So yeah, so failures is very, learn from it. You are going to make mistakes sometime, right, in your business, and that's perfectly fine, because it's human nature to make mistakes, right? But you should learn from your mistakes, you should learn from others' mistake, and whatever they did, right, whatever the mistake they did. I remember, in a company I used to work, right, and they made so many mistakes, right? And I'm not sure if it exactly, if this company failed or not. I'm not going to name any names here, right? And yeah, so they tried to pivot into something else, and they were never committed. They thought that this is a dead idea, let's move to other idea. And I saw it actually happening, right? I actually worked on the other idea, and it was just insane, because you know, the company was dedicated in building this particular software, and after some time they want to pivot and do something else and start from scratch, which is a total pain, right? It's a total pain, right? They were not committed. They were absolutely not committed, right? So this stuff happens, right? Earlier, where I used to work, made a lot of mistakes, right? And I am learning from that, right? So I'll not make the same mistakes as they did. Eventually, I did make the mistake, but I learned from it, and now I am focused on what I should do. So whenever someone is failing, you should see what he did, and whatever he did, do the exact opposite of what they did, right? Does that make sense? Let's say he was playing video games. All right, maybe you can say that they pivoted, the company pivoted. So you do exact opposite of that. Don't pivot. Focus on only one idea, right? Let's say they didn't do the marketing very good, right? And although they had a very good product, but no one knew what the product was, right? So because they didn't market it completely, right? And that's why they failed. So you should market your product, right? So learn from that and do exactly opposite of what they did, right? So they did not market, you do marketing. They did not make the product good, you make good product, whatever it is, right? I'm just giving an example, so that you can relate a bit, right? So that was what I was going to say in this video. And again, I wish you all a happy Diwali and a prosperous life. All the best in whatever goals you make, right? And please make sure to like and subscribe my channel. And until next time.